Alright tech family, I really want to like the Yoga 9i for 2023. In fact, it's probably one of my favourite Windows laptops that I've tested this year. But it has a gotcha that you need to be aware of. Since I value your time, I'm just going to get straight to the point. The Yoga 9i is pretty much good to great at every metric that I look at when I review a laptop. And when you factor in its pricing, it's frigging amazing. For the model I have with the Intel i7-1360p processor, 16GB of RAM and the 2.8K OLED screen, it's listed for $1,400 US, which is already fair. However, as I've said on the channel, time and time again, these laptops regularly go on sale, and I easily found it for $250 off. Plus, if you're willing to try a returned laptop, you can get it as low as $1,000 or less. At that price, this laptop is a complete steal. But I said there was a gotcha, and I've clearly caveated my language so far. That's because this laptop, like every Windows thin and light laptop right now, suffers from the Intel curse. Either manufacturers put in high-powered P-series processors like this one has, and you get decent performance, but you get fan noise. Or you put in a lower-powered U-series processor, like the HP Spectre I just tested has, and you get a cool and quiet laptop, but running any performance tasks will noticeably slow down the laptop. So, moral of the story. Great laptop if you're doing predominantly lightweight tasks and can handle a bit of fan noise. Say you plan to use it in an environment that has a bit of background noise. If yes, this laptop is a fantastic buy and keep watching the review. If not, this laptop just isn't for you. So, let me show you how this laptop's performance reinforces what I just said. In Geekbench 6, which tests a variety of common performance tasks, you can see straight away that this laptop performs very well on extreme performance mode. But that mode has very loud fan noise. If you run it on the default mode, known as intelligent cooling, fan noise drops a lot, but so does performance. And it now performs almost identical to the HP Spectre X360, a much smaller laptop with Intel's lower powered U-series processor. And that laptop has even less fan noise. Now, if we max out the performance of the CPU by running Cinebench, you can see that the extra performance cores of the P-series processor do help propel this laptop to a very good score. That's when running on extreme performance mode. But once again, if you run the laptop on its default intelligent cooling mode, performance drops to something that a lower powered U-series processor can achieve. And when you run the same laptop on a loop for 10 minutes, basically a torture test, performance drops a lot, as this laptop struggles to keep the processor cool. That's within the allowable fan noise limits that the manufacturer has set. When you look at power draw, you can see that this laptop initially bursts at around 65 watts for both modes, but on intelligent cooling, power draw drops to 25 watts, and on extreme performance it stays at 33. So that explains the performance difference that we are seeing. And by the way, I do like the high burst power. That definitely will make short burst tasks like opening an application or a quick code recompile nice and snappy, even when running on intelligent cooling mode, which is the mode that I suggest you run your laptop at. In everyday use, like browsing the web and working on Office documents, this laptop felt snappy enough, but you could always hear the fans going. It's not overly loud, but it's definitely noticeable in a silent room. And this is on the default intelligent cooling mode, by the way. But the moment you start running something intensive on this laptop, it slows down a bit. And then you're faced with that conundrum that I mentioned earlier, running it on extreme performance mode and hearing a lot of fan noise. I am so bored of talking about this when it comes to Intel laptops. Hopefully, when AMD Zen 4 finally arrives for these smaller portable laptops, it will improve things. But at the time I filmed this review, there were just none available. Alright, moving on. This laptop feels premium and looks great. I like the soft edges because I frequently use my laptops when traveling. Sitting on a plane's tray table, there is no wrist support, and many laptops with sharp edges cut into my wrist, which hurts. Not this one though. I also really like how light the laptop is for one with a 14-inch screen. This makes it feel very portable, and it's a 2-in-1, so it can convert into a tablet. And yes, it comes with a pen and a case. And as I said, it does feel quite premium. However, it is absolutely not at the level of build quality of a MacBook. The display is excellent, bright enough, extremely color accurate, and has the perfect pixel density for a 14-inch screen size. I have the 2880 by 1800 OLED panel, by the way, which I would definitely recommend over the 4K one. You absolutely don't need that extra resolution on a 14-inch screen. On the 2880 model that I have, text already looks sharp enough. The only thing that the increased pixel count of that screen will do is reduce your battery life. And another thing I do like about this screen is it has a 90Hz refresh rate, so movement on screen looks smooth. The keyboard is comfortable enough. Not the most comfortable I've used, as the key press is a little spongy, but it's not bad. I do not like the column of special keys on the right side. I just don't think these are worth the sacrifice of having the keyboard off center. Like, how often are you really going to switch between light and dark modes or performance modes? And because of this column of keys, I would frequently mishit the right arrow key, as I expect that it's the key at the bottom right of the laptop's keyboard, which it normally is. But on this one, it isn't. It's the fingerprint reader. Lenovo product managers, if you're going to do this, make the keys programmable. Then I can at least assign them to something that I will frequently use. Touchpad is good enough, but not great. Tracking is accurate, but when you click in the bottom left or right corners, you will notice that it is mechanical and it loses a little accuracy as you press down. Speakers are really good. They are extremely loud, clear, and just feel powerful. But they still aren't as good as a MacBook Pro 14's. The big difference is bass. There is basically none here, and on that laptop there is some. Ports are good. You've got a charging capable port on both sides of the laptop, so you won't have to run a cable around the back if your outlet is on the other side of the machine. On the left side are two fast Thunderbolt 4 ports and one USB 18 gigabit port. This is handy for connecting those legacy devices like my wireless mouse. And then on the other side you've got a USB-C 10 gigabit port and a headphone mic combo jack. Here's how the webcam looks and sounds in excellent lighting conditions. Usable but not great. The laptop has both Windows Hello facial recognition and a fingerprint reader. To test battery life, I lowered the screen's brightness to 200 nits and a 60 Hz refresh rate. I then played a Netflix video on repeat over Wi-Fi for 4 hours. At the end of the test, I had 55% battery remaining. This means you should get a bit more than 8 hours of battery use for a similar use case. Given that this laptop has a large 75 watt-hour battery, this is a little disappointing. My Spectre X360 lasted the same amount with a much smaller battery. That has a lower powered U-series processor in it though. Also, if you run the laptop on intelligent cooling or extreme performance, it is capable of performing on full power when on battery. Alright, we're done here. Overall, I do like this laptop a lot, mainly because you get a ton for your money. For the price, it's a great buy. You get a machine that is good to great at almost every metric that I look at. It's a very enjoyable laptop to use, and if you buy it, you'll probably be very happy with it. The only thing that I don't like is that you will hear fan noise when using it. Compared to the HP Spectre X360, which is another Windows 2-in-1 laptop that I recently reviewed, that laptop has less fan noise and a more comfortable keyboard. But it isn't as powerful, its speakers aren't as good, its screen is smaller and is capped at 60 Hz, it exhibits PWM flickering when you lower the brightness, which you probably don't want, it doesn't look as sexy, and it costs more. If you want a Windows laptop like this and can handle a little fan noise, I'd get this one. If you can't, get the Spectre. Compared to a base model MacBook Air M2, which is in the same price range, that laptop is built much better than both of these, it has no fan noise at all, and its processor has great integrated graphics which will allow you to do things like edit videos. However, you lose out on the touchscreen and ability to run it in tablet mode. It also runs macOS, which may not be your preference, and it gets expensive if you want to spec it up with the same amount of memory and storage as these laptops have. Well, what did you think? Would you take the trade-off of a bit of fan noise for a really good all-round laptop at a great price? Let me know by commenting below. Well, that's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button and get subscribed. Not only does it show your appreciation, but it also makes my mother very proud. Till next time, go do something awesome with your day, and I will catch you later.